Oh, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Trotters and a special welcome to our bird of prey flying presentation. My name's John, this is Jasper, and Jasper is a humble, common buzzard. Nothing more special than that. Britain's most numerous bird of prey, or at least Britain's most numerous raptor, and a raptor is any bird of prey that isn't an owl. This particular one is in his mid-20s. As you've seen, he's an accomplished flyer, but the flying was mostly about advertising himself. Really speaking, you know, if he were to have some success at breeding, then he would have already found his partner. But as it is, Jasper isn't going to have any success at breeding this year because, like every year, he hasn't managed to find a partner. And I'm afraid that's happened for the last 26 years. He's been looking for a girlfriend, and still he hasn't got one.
Himself.
I'm going to have to really work hard at you lot, aren't I? When I say things that are sad, you go, oh. Alright? Phone card. So, for the last 27 years, wait for it, Jasper's been looking for a girlfriend, and he still hasn't got one.
Oh,
go on. And he's got everything that a buzzard requires, you know, he's own feathers and beak. He has a nice little job, he's got a tourist business, and his mortgage is paid, he's got a pension, and he's got a healthcare plan, and even a personal dietitian and a trainer, but admittedly perhaps not the best example. So he's got all of these things, but he can't get the girl. And the problem is, well, it's not Bear Grylls, is it? Because we all know Bear Grylls actually just stays in hotels. It's Ray Mears and his buddies. The buzzards out there, they've watched too many Ray Mears programmes and they live in the woods these days and they're tough, you know, and they eat worms. And he's a dirty boy, Ray Mears, isn't he? Worms and beetles and things like that. And Jasper just can't compete with that. Poor old Jasper here, he's got more refined tastes. You know, he's got all the things he should have going for him. But he just can't compete with the rough lads out in the woods. And that's who the girls prefer, to be honest. So Jasper, every day comes out here and you'll hear him cry out occasionally. Sometimes it's an angry cry. It's, "Get off my land!" But most of the time when you listen to him, you can just hear the words, "Own house and car." Poor old Jasper. He's a broad-winged soaring bird and he prefers to open his wings and catch the breeze. You see, he's actually trying to put in the minimum effort for the maximum reward. If you can fly on rested wings, then you're only using 2% more energy than you are if you're sitting still. So Jasper, being a lazy boy, you know, he likes to harness the energy of the wind, and he really does do a lot of flying. He goes up, and this uppy-downy sort of flying that he's doing actually advertises his whereabouts. And you can see he's picking up on the draft where it hits almost anything. Trees, buildings, and so on, and up he goes. And this is the sort of silhouette you're looking for if you're looking at a wild buzzard. The chances are, though, you'll walk right under most wild buzzards because they'll be sitting in trees. They won't be doing this sort of thing close to you, unless you're on a hillside. They'll just be sitting in a tree. And waiting for something to move. They can catch quite large prey, you know, this time of year. Young rabbits is a favourite, and they'll be up at the nest sites now. They need a good sized territory, and a territory is what we need to live in. It's just the same. You know, you need to be near enough to get your shopping, don't you? And get to the doctors, and get to school, and get fresh water, and, you know, get rid of any mess around your house, and so on and so on. And you need all these things in your territory. Now, your territory, if you come from a town, is probably smaller than mine. Because I moved to a place not realising that the nearest shop was 7 miles away. So I've got to naturally have a bigger territory. But if you live in a town or city, you've got it made because everything's at hand. And some birds of prey, they only have to have a small territory. If you're a peregrine living on the south coast, you only have to have maybe 3/4 of a mile of cliff and hill because there are pigeons flying past all the time. Whereas if you want living somewhere right rough, you know, right out in the middle of some bleak spot in Northumberland, or somewhere really wild and backward like Wales, then, you know, you're right stuck And you've got to have a big territory. Is there anybody in from Wales? You've been in Wales? You live in Wales?
My family's from Wales.
Yeah.
You're back out, that's good.
That's terrible.
Got out.
Yeah, quite funny.
You know,
Tell my
can't
granddad
offer
about
you a
that.
refuge, no problem. Now, I do like to give the Welsh a mention because they don't get mentioned very much, do they? Bless them. And up he goes. Right, good bit of flying. And this will be, you know, if you live in Wales, you'll see this all the time. Slope soaring this is. See where the wind's hitting that serval pen and the black barn and so on and so on. It's taking, it's just Jasper. Yeah, it's taking Jasper up. And you can see him just angling his wings. He's trying to stay at a point where he can see what's going on. Keep your eyes on him. He's a good bird. You know, he's watching me as well. He's not dim-witted at all. He keeps his eyes on me all the time. He says, oh look, John's heading towards the shed. When I head towards the shed, that means Jasper the Buzzard don't land in a tree, just come on down. I've thrown a bit of food out for him. Oh, there he is. I was going to say, I've completely lost track of him. But he's on his way back over the tall trees now at the back of the otter fen, a very popular part of the coast. And he's landed in the lemur tree. He's stacked. He's supposed to come down from there. But I can't force his hand. Now, there's a big mistake a lot of people make in these shows and demonstrations. They start talking about weight. A gram here or a gram there, it's very important for training these birds, you know. Ooh, it isn't. Load of twaddle. Absolute load of twaddle. If the bird knows its job, then it's like a duck at the park or a gull at the beach or a pigeon in the street or a bird on your bird table. You're not like deliberately withholding peanuts, expecting your birds to come back, are you, to your bird table? In fact, what you do is you feed them maybe in the morning each day and they all come flocking round. Because they know full well that they're onto a good thing. And Jasper knows full well that he's onto a good thing. He's done this all his life. Why would I need to make him hungry for a presentation? In fact, it would have exactly the opposite effect that I desired, because Jasper knows that this bag isn't just a handy fashion item. It's also full of horrible things that he'd like to eat. Rat, rabbit, mice, beef, chicken, pigeon, partridge, rook, pheasant, hare, duck or quail. Jasper's favourites. And he would like to eat that food. But I don't have to get him starving to do it. In fact, he's just got to be ready for his lunch. I've just had my lunch. I had a jacket potato with some salad and some coleslaw. And to be honest, I wasn't really that hungry. I'm just a glutton. And so is Jasper. He's just a glutton. So he sits up there and he knows full well that he's got to get his food at some point. And all he's got to do is keep on coming back for it. And as I head over to this shed, he's got two buddies in this shed, you see, sitting in here. And as I head over here, he's going to get a bit jealous because he can see the door opening. You keep your eyes on Jasper and you tell me when he moves. And this is nothing at all to do with food, right? Nothing at all. You tell me when he moves. Just give me a shout. Jasper, I've gone in the shed.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Here he comes. Wow.
Do you know what's so attractive about the shed? When I go in there, I feed the next bird his lunch. And he gets jealous. And he just comes down. He knows every time I go back to that shed, his day is over. He's done his flying and he's had ample exercise for a very old common buzzard there. And I can put him away.